Dr. Sunny, why is my skin not hydrated? Why can't I get my skin to glow? Why isn't it radiant? This is the key thing that patients on our virtual skincare service are asking. And guess what? Guess how they're asking? They're in the comfort of their home. They fill out the type form questionnaire that we have. They then do a skin analysis, which identifies problem areas, gives you an overall skin score, which might actually be okay. Anything above 70 on our virtual skin score is actually pretty good. It's average, although some of our patients, we don't really want average skin, we want great, amazing skin. Hello and welcome to another edition of the weekly newsletter. I'm Dr. Sunny Dhesi, and what have we got in store for you to listen to, of course. So as part of this newsletter, what I'd like to do is focus on a mantra of mindfulness, menopause and medicine. That is the focus of the clinic here at Vysana, here in Oakham, Rutland. Our focus is to support women through the mindfulness journey, the menopause journey, the medical journey. We also treat men as well, but our focus is women's health because I believe that women's health is not supported by a broken global medical system. I don't think it's the fault of individual practitioners like myself necessarily, but what practitioners like myself can do, especially a GP like myself, a male GP, can really focus on women's health, really support patients coming into our clinic for regenerative treatments to guide them and educate them on mindfulness, menopause, and obviously through medicine, and steer them in the right direction. That doesn't always mean having medical treatments in clinic. It means steering them back into NHS services. So here we are, this is Vysana Life. I'm Dr. Sunny Dhesi. If you haven't already subscribed to our newsletter on YouTube, please do go over to YouTube or click on the link if we provided it in this video and subscribe and hit the bell notifications for when I'm sharing all these hints and tips for you. So I promise you, what do we have in store for you this week? So we're going to talk about the dangers of ultra-processed foods, which foods to steer clear of. We're going to talk a little bit about skin hydration, which products should I use? Basically, what are our patients saying? We've done so many virtual consultations, virtual skincare consultation services oversubscribed, and there is one thing that keeps coming up again and again, and I'm going to share it with you in this newsletter. And lastly, we're going to talk about menopause and recent controversial headlines. Is menopause a disability? Keep tuned, keep watching, and I'm looking forward to sharing this week's newsletter with you. So, ultra-processed foods, UPFs, there's so many abbreviations, and it's so confusing. What is ultra-processed? What's processed? Obviously, what's natural is what doesn't come in any packaging, comes off a tree, off the ground, definitely looks like it should do if it's a fruit, if it's a vegetable. However, we are living in busy times, unprecedented times, and what that means is that we don't always have time to make the right food choices. I do medical screenings every week, and one of the things that I always ask is about, what's your diet like? Is it a balanced diet? Diet is best served by potentially speaking to a nutritionist, someone who's a specialist in it. As a doctor, I'm spending more and more time trying to learn about diet. I'm trying to learn more about the health expectations and the thinking behind it. But what I wanted to share with you today is which ultra-processed foods to avoid, 9 things that you should never buy again. So firstly, yes, I'm using a little bit of a cheat sheet here. Sugary breakfast cereals. Now, not all breakfast cereals are sugary, but sweetened breakfast cereals are a definite no. They've long been on the naughty list. They have high sugar content, added sugar, and a low fiber content. And research at Queen Mary University London shows that some cereals compromise 1/3 of their weight or more. So that's about 8 teaspoons per 100 grams of weight of cereal of sugar. So, they're artificially colored, they're shaped, they're flavored, they're designed to appeal not only to our taste buds, but also to our minds as well. We can think now, for those of us who are now in their 40s, we can often think back, which cereals spring to mind. It's not the cornflakes, it's not the all bran, it's not the shredded wheat, it's more like the Cocoa Pops, it's the funky Lucky Charms. I mean, what a brilliant, attractive cereal, but definitely not one to eat. So definitely one to avoid is sugary breakfast cereals. Now, ready meals. Again, you go into a supermarket now, there's a plethora of ready meals. It's estimated that 90% of the UK population eats ready meals on a daily basis. That's 2 out of 5 eating them once a week. This is despite concerns about ultra-processed foods, factors, preservatives, ingredients in those foods. And recent studies have shown that it not only disrupts our appetite, it disrupts our metabolism. So definitely ready meals is one to steer clear of. But I guess in this instance, what you're saying is, well, what do I do instead? Try and pick something that's simple. Ready meals are, again, just like sweetened breakfast cereals, they're designed to be attractive to our brains. Our brains will reward us for eating these high fat, high sugar, carbohydrate content foods. In some cases, they're low fat and high carbohydrates, and obviously carbohydrate gets converted to fat if there's too much of it and you're not active enough. So what I would suggest is definitely look at what ready meals you're doing, try and reduce the consumption down, eat simpler stuff, a simple pasta dish with a vegetable sauce that you can make at home in a blender. That is something that we've been doing a lot more of, and it's very easy to throw it in. It may not be as appealing when you first think about it, but definitely is when it hits your taste buds. So this one gets me every time. Shop-made cakes and biscuits. Definitely want to avoid. Have you ever bought a shop-made biscuit and just left it open on the side and nothing happens to it? I mean, our kids have they've sometimes thrown this sort of stuff, a shop-made brownie or biscuit out in the garden. And every morning you wake up and you look at outside and there it is just sitting there, because not even animals will touch it, not even mold will touch it, not even bacteria touch it. But when you do make something at home from fresh ingredients, guess what happens? Within a few days, mold will appear on it because, hey, it's natural, it's tasty, even the bacteria and mold want it. So definitely want to avoid is shop-bought cakes and biscuits. Processed meat products, they're convenient, easy to put between two slices of bread, but again, a lot of studies have shown, things, I know not everyone's a fan of the World Health Organization, they do put out publications that not everyone agrees with, but some instances, salami, processed foods, things like that, processed meats, I should say, high consumption of those sort of foods can lead to an increased incidence of cancer. So processed meat, why is it such a bad thing? It involves adding nitrates that have been shown to produce chemicals that damage DNA and increase bowel cancer risk. So consuming no more than 70 grams of processed meat a day, we've all done it, opened up that salami packet, and before you know it, half it's finished. Definitely one not to do and put away. Now and again, maybe just for the taste, but definitely not for daily consumption. Now, I am an advocate for switching to a more vegetarian diet. Vegan burgers are definitely one to take off the list. Those processed vegan burgers have a high content of salt and preservatives and flavorings, and those are definitely factors that will disrupt our metabolism. Definitely not what to do. Processed plastic cheese, need I say more? Flavored corn chips, choose your tortilla chips wisely, and flavored yogurts, those yogurts that don't need to be refrigerated. Funny that. How is it they're able to survive outside at room temperature? They contain a lot of sugar, which is a preservative agent we know, thickeners, and so on. And fizzy drinks in very, very light moderation. Fizzy drinks or not at all in some instances. Some nutritionists say just don't drink fizzy drinks at all. And that is it. That is the ultra-processed foods to avoid. Why has that come up? It's because we ask a lot of questions about diet in clinic when we're doing our holistic medical approach to any kind of treatment or planning that we do. And these things can not only disrupt your gut, they can not only lead to increased incidence of cancer later on in life, diabetes, heart attack, cardiovascular disease, but hey, guess what? They also disrupt your skin as well. We've all done it, had a crappy weekend of eating, and guess what? Monday, Tuesday, suddenly you get a manifestation of skin problems. I know there's no direct link or correlation. A lot of dermatologists will say that food doesn't necessarily directly link to skin problems, but we know that if we are making skin cells, and that takes a longer process, we need micronutrients and nutrients of the best sort in order to produce the best skin cells. So that's my little bit on, it's a kind of medical related thing, but nutrition definitely. 9, ultra-processed foods or processed foods to avoid. Dr. Sunny, why is my skin not hydrated? Why can't I get my skin to glow? Why isn't it radiant? This is the key thing that patients on our virtual skincare service are asking. And guess what? Guess how they're asking? They're in the comfort of their home. They fill out the type form questionnaire that we have. They then do a skin analysis, which identifies problem areas, gives you an overall skin score, which might actually be okay. Anything above 70 on our virtual skin score is actually pretty good. It's average, although some of our patients, we don't really want average skin, we want great, amazing skin. But one of the things is about hydration. And one of the key questions that I can get to ask in that virtual consultation, if that's what you choose to do, is what are you using on your skin? What are the skin products you're using? I would say more than 50%, maybe even up to 70% of the time, what's happening is people are over exfoliating, whether it's with physical exfoliation, which is a definite no. Put down that physical exfoliation. We won't name any brands, no naming and shaming on this newsletter today, but definitely put down the physical exfoliation. I'm an advocate for chemical exfoliation, but even then, I've got some patients who are using AHA, BHA on a daily basis, and then when they come out the shower, say for example, or they just wash their face, they're like, yes, how did you know that my skin was feeling tight? That is dehydration. But Dr. Sunny, I drink plenty of water. I drink loads of water throughout the day. It's not to do with how much water you drink. It's to do with your moisture barrier function. And if you're over exfoliating using AHAs on a daily basis, or even if you're using something simple or overusing, I would say, I mean, now is a time when I start advocating things like vitamin C serums, AHA serums. But if you're over exfoliating with toners and then putting another serum on top of that has an exfoliating action to it, then of course your skin is going to get dehydrated. You're stripping away the barrier function that sits on top of your skin. Here's your epidermis. You have a barrier function, a kind of fatty moisture layer that becomes disrupted with all this exfoliation, and then your skin feels tight, even a bit sore, and then it's crying out for moisture. You put moisturizer on, it sinks into your skin, it disappears. Well, guess what? Because you may be using a water-based moisturizer. If you look at the back of the list, it's probably got aqua on there as a main ingredient. That's water-based. There are lots of different types of moisturizers. So one of the ways that we can tackle dehydrated skin is with this great little product, our Pocket Rocket, our Maiden Oil Salvation Rescue Balm. Yes, it's for hormonal skin, but it actually suits all types of dehydrated skin, unless of course you have any sensitivity to any of the ingredients. But that's always why it's worthwhile discussing in a virtual consultation. So this is a great product. When would I use it? I would use it possibly at nighttime. If you shower at nighttime, I shower in the morning. If you shower at nighttime, what you want to do is not reach for putting a little bit of a Salvation Balm here. What you don't want to do is reach straight away for toner afterwards. You've cleansed, your skin is probably stripped, that's why it's feeling tight. So taking a small amount of the Rescue Balm, and you can put it mainly, I noticed that a lot of our patients who have rosacea or redness or sensitivity, placing a little bit of balm on the cheek area like so. If you don't like too much on your skin, at least that's now an occlusive moisturizer. You don't need to do anything else. So I'd always start off simple. If you've got, your skin's getting a bit tight and sore and it's dehydrated, that tight feeling, then just strip your skincare products right back, get some Maiden Oil Salvation Rescue Balm, come out the shower, pop that on maybe all over, and then just do that for about a week or so. Then what you can do is start adding in a serum, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, adding in, let's say, an AHA serum. If you're still suffering with a little bit of redness or spots or breakouts, then of course you could use a BHA, like a salicylic acid, a mild one. Or we have some great products from Meda, which I advocate quite a lot, and that can also help. We've been testing out some products from a company called Blur as well. I'll be sharing that with you soon on next newsletter. So hydration is key. Of course, you've got to drink some water, keep drinking throughout the day, but sometimes drinking water doesn't necessarily mean it ties in with the moisturization of your skin. That is something that you need to lock in moisture, and that's where I'd advocate using a more occlusive moisturizer. So if you want glowing, hydrated skin, let's separate those two things out. We want hydrated skin first, then we can get the glow by polishing it with exfoliants, but I will share that with you in the next few newsletters, because the weather is changing, the sun is coming out, and we can start to afford to playing with these without getting too many reactions or too much dryness. Dryness is something different. Dryness is itchy, flaky skin, and that's for another newsletter. But hydration is key, and the way to do that is to strip back your skincare, use a bit of an occlusive moisturizer at nighttime, and then help to build up your barriers that way. In the daytime, you can perhaps cleanse, put a serum on, and then maybe a lighter moisturizer because you don't want something so heavy. So in that instance, we've got a light moisturizer from Maiden Oil Day Brilliance. We've got a Bargy, we have a Lumiere. Now, one of the things is that for those of you who are like, well, you know what, I've been doing what you've been saying, Dr. Sunny. I've been using this, but I want to use a bit of an exfoliant. So let me share one product with you. This is our Bright and Clear solution. This is available through virtual consultation or direct messaging us. The reason why is because it's a lactic acid toner. Now, lactic acid is very hydrating for the skin. It draws in water molecules when you put it on, but too much use and you'll dehydrate your skin again. You get redness and sensitivity. So this one is for asking. This one you can actually just get from the shop. And lastly, I wanted to share a bit of a controversial headline with you. Is menopause a disability? Now, I had to think carefully about this one because, yes, we're all about grabbing headlines, grabbing your attention. I want you to listen to me on this newsletter. Now, I think if you're a man watching this, obviously a man talking about it, I would listen in because this is really important. You've got, married, got a partner, wife, girlfriend, daughters who may be in the workplace. But the reason why I'm sort of hesitating on this, I want to really articulate this really well because I've never experienced it. I will never experience the effects of menopause, but I may experience the side effects because I have my patients are going through it. I have family members who are women who will be going through it. So I want to arm myself with as much information, get as much understanding and really empathize as much as I can so that I can do everything I can, especially in clinic. Now, what do I know about this? Well, I've spoken to patients. We get a good half an hour even for our most simple treatments like wrinkle relaxing. Sometimes we've got up to an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. And guess what we talk about? We talk about lifestyle, we talk about the workplace. And a lot of patients have shared with me about their experience about menopause in the workplace. That feeling of like, am I going crazy? Why is I'm not getting any support? Is this anxiety normal? Is the workload too much? Am I just getting old? And not having that education bit and not having supportive perhaps employers or even supportive, I guess, medical community, maybe 5 years ago, 2 years, 3 years ago, if a patient come into me with menopausal symptoms, what could I offer them as a GP? And that's what this little bit is about. So, the headlines are that firms must help menopausal workers, and obviously newspapers, the media deals with negative comments, so I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep it positive. I think what's happening there is a change. So menopause symptoms can be considered a disability. And I think, is that a negative thing? I was listening to a eminent doctor on Instagram yesterday in a live, and she was talking about her own experiences and initially her knee-jerk reaction about menopause classed as a disability and how could it be classed as that? But then she thought about her own experiences. She was a GP partner. Now she runs her own very, very successful London-based clinic. But what she experienced, she wasn't getting the support at the time. Nobody was listening to her. And in that respect, maybe menopause can be considered. Maybe it can be considered so that it helps people to take notice and listen up. Employers are having to make now reasonable adjustments, issue guidance in the workplace. Symptoms like hot flushes, brain fog, and difficulty sleeping, if you're experiencing that on a daily basis, of course it's going to have an effect on your work. Post-COVID, we have now the option of working from home, but even then, is it right to be working when you're experiencing those symptoms? Do you need some time off? Do you need that support? Is there counselling available in the workplace? Is there ability to access menopausal consultations? If you can't get it through the NHS GP, could you get it through your private insurer? I know that Bupa does offer, I think, 2 consultations a year from a specialist, menopause specialist. So I think I just wanted to highlight it. I don't want to make it too negative. I wanted to be a supportive discussion. Yes, there are lots of disabilities in the world, but the disability, I guess, for menopause doesn't have to continue. I'm always here to listen to our patients. We have lots of conversations about menopausal symptoms, especially if you're working, but even if you're not working, if you're a full-time mum and you're in your perimenopause, is it a decade of looking, experience these symptoms? And that's what used to happen in the past. But now there are sources of information. It's a lot more out there. If you want to discuss it, I'm struggling for words because I want to make sure I say the right thing. But things are changing. There's lots of supports out there. If you're in full-time work, I'm sure your employer is now making adjustments, and don't be afraid to ask about that. If you're in clinic with me, I will always talk about it. I'll ask you basically about perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms, and always do engage with your GP. And if you're struggling, do reach out for help. Love to hear some comments about your thoughts about menopause and disability. Is this the right classification? Is this the right way to deal with it? Is this the right way to approach it? As I said, I can only empathize, and that's what we're here to support. That's what my focus is. We're here to support from a women's health perspective, and at the same time, educating men like myself, even though I am a GP, about menopausal symptoms, about perimenopause. And I think I'm going to end on this going back right to the beginning. Hormones fluctuate on a monthly basis, and it starts from a very early age, even before a woman's first period, a girl's first period, before menarche. That is something that we are focusing on. I'm researching, I'm looking at ways that we can support through. Obviously, we start with skin, we work our way within. I'm Dr. Sunny Dhesi, this is Vysana Life. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the comments, DMs and questions that come through. Please do keep coming them through. Keep sending them through, sorry, I should say. And I look forward to sharing with you another newsletter soon.